kiss, hug, lay, repeat, 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 kiss, hug.
And welcome to another edition of City Beat TV, City Beat Magazine, and podcast. I'm your host, Tony Bass, and today we have the pleasure to speak to a wonderful, phenomenal recording artist. She goes by the name of Tanqueray Hayward, and she's out of the Philadelphia area. And we want to welcome you to City Beat TV. Tanqueray, how are you?
I'm good, Tony. How you doing?
Wonderful. Now that I'm speaking to you, I'm just intrigued with your talent. And I know you came out of the church like a lot of the major artists that are household names right now. But I just wanted to know if you could just expound a little bit on when you knew that you could sing and when you decided to take that path as your career.
Okay, so I've always known I wanted to sing since I was 5 years old. You know, I was always a little entertainer, and it's funny because I have a 5-year-old daughter, and she's the exact same way. She just loves her audience. Even yesterday, I had to run around and grab her because she's just dancing and singing in front of people. But, you know, all I could say was, you know, she gets it honest. Now, as far as professionally, Tony, I've only been doing it since 2014.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing. Because you come a long way. I mean, last year, 2020, was a phenomenal year for you, it seems like. I mean, you've been nominated for so many awards. You've been on the Independent UK award charts, the Urban Influencer charts, and you've just been tearing it up in 2020. So, I mean, how did that happen? I mean, in that short period of time, how did you get into even writing?
You know, so all I can say is all but, you know, God and God's timing. You know, I used to wonder why things didn't happen. You know, I felt like I should have been out there, you know, when I was younger, and it just wasn't my time, you know. And with the music that I have out now, you know, I realized that I had to go through some things in order to be able to write the music that I have now. I've always been a creative child. It's funny, even on Facebook, you know, a few people, you know, had wrote when we were younger, like I used to make up songs for them to sing, like with the kids in the neighborhood. So I've always had it in me, but it was something about COVID, and I was able to focus being at home and actually write down some things. But also too, I feel like my producer, T.L. Scheider, he was a big help because his music just really resonated with me. And so it's funny, I met him through Facebook, and he's actually the younger brother of Gary Scheider from Parliament Funkadelic. And he reached out to me. He said he had seen me perform and he wanted to work with me. So he had emailed me quite a bit of tracks, and it was like every one, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I love it, you know. And again, I just feel like God sent him to me. And so through his music, I was able to really just sit, and things just started coming out. Because at one point, Tony, I did feel like I had like a brain fart. Like I just wasn't feeling creative. I didn't feel like I had the drive. And even before COVID hit, I was just performing, and I was just focusing on just trying to make money. You know, I really wasn't focused on an album, and I really didn't feel inspired. So it took that time being at home and him to actually get it all to come together. And then once it did, it just started flowing.
It seems like it was just the grace of God that your paths would cross, because you know, it looked like it turned out to be a marvelous formula for both of you. Speaking of which in particular, one of the records, I think it was, End of Never, that you guys did a duet on.
Yes.
And I love that record.
Yeah, and you know, the interesting thing was when he met me, he wanted to do a duet. He wanted to do that duet. But then as time went on, he just said, you know what, let's just start working on music for you. And we kind of pushed that to the side. So when I was getting the album together, I said, well, why don't we do the duet? He said, huh? And I said, yeah, let's do it. And the thing about it was on that track, that's just his background vocals. And he recorded that back in 2013, and he said, well, I haven't sang in a long time. I said, it's okay, I'll get you together. So I actually recorded that session. So he showed me how to work the machine and everything, and I was beating him down. Tony, no, do it again, you're flat, you're off, do this, do that. But he wanted me to re-record the background vocals, and I said no. I said I really like them. You did a great job, and I think it just makes the song even better. So I said, can we keep them? And so he said, all right. And so here we have it. But it's a beautiful song.
It really is tremendous. And speaking of beautiful songs, I saw something that someone captured that looks like on a cell phone, but I think it was Somewhere Over the Rainbow you did, and it was a live performance. And that's when I said, this sister is a true talent. Because when you hear it live and it sounds just as good, if not better than the record, sing.
That's my testimony song. I love that song. I always usually sing it near the end of my performances, just to try to encourage people to go for their dream, go for their business or whatever it is they want to do. Because Tony, life is short, and sometimes we always do well, I wish I woulda, and so I always try to just encourage them to just go beyond the rainbow and just go for it.
Yeah, that's a wonderful message, and that's so true. And whatever endeavor you decide to embark on. Speaking of which, I think you were in the medical field before you decided to flip the script, and that must have been a serious life-changing decision to make. I don't know if your daughter was born at the time or not, but
well, she was conceived right after I quit my job. So here I go, I'm quitting, and it was a great job at a hospital. I worked as a nursing aide, and I used to sing to my patients, so I used to enjoy doing that. But a lot of the gigs were on weekends, and with that job, I did like every other or every third weekend, and I was getting a little frustrated. So I had another part-time job, which is teaching, which I currently still do now. So I teach at a trade school. But when I left the hospital, that was really my bread, my butter, my benefits. People thought I was crazy. And I said, well, it's just me. I can live off of my little part-time job. I had paid down all my debt, paid my car off. So I was good to go, Tony. Then about 6 months later, I found out I was going to be a mom. I said, well, it's a good thing I didn't cuss out my supervisor, because we left on good terms, because I might have to come back.
Right.
But it was like God said, no, you continue to work that 20-hour-a-week job. I got you. And God has had us every step of the way, and she'll be 6 this year. Just
as a testimony to the quality of your vocals, you perform with, you with the gamut. You were background singer for Pink, and you've done gospel. You've been on stage with some of the biggest names in the gospel, R&B, pop arena, and in such a short period of time. And I'm sure that you must have learned a lot about music and certainly the business through those endeavors.
Yeah, I did. And, I've always been a person who just watched things. They may see that I'm quiet, but I'm always just watching and looking and just always paying attention. And I remember, because when I actually started singing in Philly, I was singing on the quartet circuit, because I love gospel music. And so I used to sing at the quartet programs. And Tony, they could be really long. You ever been to a quartet program?
Absolutely.
And, so you better eat, because you're going to be there for a while.
That's right.
And I sang at this church, and this one lady, her name was Reverend Nettie Brooks. She came up to me and said, girl, you got it. And so she kind of took me under her wing, and she would give me little tidbits on how to dress and make sure you face the audience. You never turn your back away, and just, different things. And then it was crazy, because even though I was 37 years old, I was kind of embarrassed to tell her I was pregnant and having a baby, because of just everything she's done for me, and just growing up in the church, and not being married, that was another big thing, because I couldn't perform at certain churches because I was pregnant and not married. And so I saw a different side of the church, which I felt some type of way about that. But anyway, just observing things, and I learned the business side because at one point in time I did have a manager. So, we would kind of go through things and talk about things, and there was just a lot of things I didn't know. Like I just knew in Philly they would play my music, but that's not the case, Tony. It's not that easy.
So that's right.
So I've definitely learned a lot.
Yeah, so let's talk about your new album, because you must be so excited. Like I said, you're coming off of so many award nominations and chart toppers, and now you have the full-blown album. I don't know if this is the first one or not, but if you could just talk a little bit about it, what the supers could expect to hear on it.
Yeah, so the album is the first album. It is entitled Definition of a Woman. So it's like, okay, if I was to define Tanqueray, this is Tanqueray. But I'm gonna tell you now, Tony, like I've only scratched the surface. So I definitely see a part 2, coming along. And the music is basically based on real life experiences, because I've sang covers for the last 5-6 years. I didn't know what my sound was going to be. And I was, and I think I was trying to make myself sound like this person and that person. And that was also the frustrating part, And I remember I posted on Facebook, just to everybody, if you was to hear a Tanqueray Hayward album, what would it be? And they, the answer just kept coming. We just want to hear from you. We just want to hear from you. If you are authentic and genuine, we'll love it, just be you. And so I did, and got great reviews. I mean, it was definitely a long time coming, because again, I quit my job in 2014. So back then I was thinking that I was going to have an album out, but God had other plans. So here we are 6 years later.
Yes.
So I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, you should be, because I tell you, just the tracks I've listened to, This Kind of Love, I think is probably the hottest one right now, and Caught Up. And speaking of, I think it's Caught Up. It's like, I see you have a little actress in you too. You talking to yourself and on the phone, and you're a physician talking to a patient.
Well, right. So basically, I'm known as the Queen of Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
And so the Queen of Philadelphia has to see a psychiatrist, because we singers and artists, we're a little crazy. So sometimes we need some help too.
Right.
And so basically the psychiatrist is trying to help the queen, the performer, with these songs and these messages and, these issues that she has, and is trying to help her get through the issues through the music.
Okay, there it is. All right. Well, it all makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, but it was hilarious.
And a lot of the video was done by my 5-year-old daughter.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna be something else one day.
She's very good with the camera.
Is that right? Oh my
Yep.
gosh. She's just a chip off the block. They're gonna just say the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. I bet you was that little girl walking around I can see with a brush in your hand in the mirror singing. Oh,
yes. And I would be outside singing to the people at the bus stop, anywhere. It didn't even matter. But yep, I would. Yep, that would be me.
I hear you, but hey, it's definitely paying off. And so apparently you're still working with TL, and
we're like married.
Okay, that's all right. Your marriage is making hits, so that's what's up. Yeah, but we're getting ready to go into the holidays, Tanqueray, and I'm just curious as to whether or not you have plans for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Do you have a big family? Is it going to be quiet, or have you even made plans yet?
Well, I have a very small family. Both my parents are deceased. I do have siblings, a niece and nephew, but pretty much it's typically just me and my daughter, and we kind of do some things together. I do cook, and some people think I don't cook, but I do cook. Okay. And so just cook a little something and let her enjoy the toys and stuff. And I actually had recorded a Christmas song last year, and that was actually dedicated to my daughter, because after my mom died, Christmas just wasn't the same. And that was one of her favorite times of the year. So once I became a mom, and, you know, she helped me to get the joy back in. And, you know, so I just love watching her play with the toys, and, you know, we get matching pajamas and just spend quality time, make cookies and all that good stuff. So the song that I recorded last year was dedicated to her. And so I actually want to do another one this year. So we're hoping to get in the studio next couple of weeks or so and get one out.
Okay, yeah, that'd be awesome. What is her name, by the way?
My daughter's name is Ray. So I didn't know what to name her. So I said, well, Tanqueray, Ray. So her name is Ray.
And I know she's a ray of joy. So.
Oh, yes, she is. She's a little firecracker.
Awesome. Can't wait to see her in about another 10, 15 years. You know?
Definitely.
You know? But tell us, Tanqueray, where can people who are listening to this interview or watching it can find out more about your music online, and more about you as well?
Sure. So my website is www.mstqmusic.com. I do have the album on the website. So, you know, you could come and support. So when you buy from the website, that goes directly to me, which goes directly to Ray, because, you know, when you're a parent, you know, who cares about you anymore? You know, it's all about the child.
That's right.
But and then the music is also everywhere now, which people were waiting for. So it's out on Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube Music, and all the digital download places.
Mm-hmm. Oh, awesome.
And then I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Same handle, MSTQ Music.
All right, got the branding down. That's what's up. You know,
yes, sir.
But I tell you, you know, it's been a true pleasure to sit here and speak to you, and certainly I'm going to continue to watch you, follow you, and I wish you the best with this particular record right now, and hope to get to talk to you in the near future when the next hit comes out.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I do actually have physical copies coming, so I will be sending one your way.
All right, now there we go. And we make sure that you know, all of our networks have it. Urban Influencer, of course. You know, that's how I got connected to you, and it's a wonderful platform for independent artists, and well worth the investment. And if you're really trying to do something in this music business professionally.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I actually got to meet Marvin when I was in California.
Okay, awesome. I haven't met him yet. Well, I've met him online, but. Yeah, okay. I bet he's an awesome guy.
Yeah, he was cool. I was in California a couple of weeks ago. So
that's right. And I tell you, there's a lot of talent out in California. I mean, the women are killing it out there. I'm noticing.
They are. Yes, they are.
Ooh. So, yeah. So that, you know. So hopefully we get you up this way sometime, Tanqueray, as things kind of get back to normal. If people start doing the right thing and more start opening up.
I look forward to it. I'm ready. I'm ready. I've been ready.
I know that's right. I know you are. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. This is my brand new friend, Tanqueray Hayward, and make sure you check her out, because she will become one of your got-to-haves in your repertoire. So until next time, have a good night, and we'll talk to you again on another edition of City Beat.
I'm thinking about the day you came my way, baby. I'm really glad you stayed with me, and if I had to do again, I wouldn't change a thing, yeah. Until the end of never, baby. That's how long I pray we stay together. Heavy storms, any kind of weather.
us part, baby. And it must have been our fate. 'Cause I trust you with my heart. I've never been the same ever since you came.
Loving me gets hard sometimes.
It's not hard.
We took a vow to love for life.
So with all my heart, I confess I'll be loving you until the end. I'm never.
We stay together.
Heavy storms,
any kind of weather.
and I'll be loving you, yeah. I love you in every way, and my heart is here to stay. I'll never.
I'll be